What up? My name is Emmanuel, aka Drina, and I want to talk. That's my shoe. I want to talk about how I got to where I am today. Like, I talk a lot about spirituality. I talk a lot about all those things. Alchemy, shadow work, and the such, right? But I want to talk about how I did it. So basically, I don't know. I used to be scared of, okay. So really, when you do shadow work, you work with all the shadow aspects, right? That's essentially the seven deadly sins, okay? Or, I mean, not really the seven deadly sins, but they're a part of it. More so, like, say you acted a certain way as a child, and whatever you suppressed due to your experiences is the thing that should come forward and that you should work on, because that's your shadow aspect. That's why they say, like, your shadow and your inner child are basically one and the same, because the inner child is scared and because of various experiences and all that, right? So your inner child your inner child gets scared due to various traumatic events. They can be whatever, right? Basically whatever you went through, they made you shield something and protect yourself, right? That is the inner child. That's your shadow, right? So it's not disrespectful to call your shadow your inner child, because it's basically what I just said, what you suppressed. So yeah, I think you can maybe put it together. So what I did was, some bug interrupt. I'm very extreme in my ways. I'm very extreme in my alchemy. I guess some people don't like the term alchemy, but that's just the term that I know. I'm very extreme. So essentially, what it all is fear. I had a fear of abandonment. I had a fear of ostracization. Abandonment wounds, ostracization wounds, right? I was also afraid of the dark, and I had like social anxiety. Like, I was scared to talk to people. Kind of, yeah. Not really, but like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like I could like talk to people, but I was afraid that they wouldn't like that. I was afraid of getting friends or getting close to somebody, just for them to learn that they didn't like me as a person. Okay, that's how I was. Now, nah, let's go that. But it's like, with any and every fear, the thing that you do to overcome it is to sit in it and learn that it's not that bad. Okay, like, now of course there are some fears that you don't sit in. I'm not going to name them because they're very violent, obviously, but it's like more so just some fears you go within and tackle, and some fears you sit in and tackle, right? Like, I was afraid of the dark for like all my life until recently, like a few months ago, where I was living in my dad's shed, and it was in his backyard, where every night it's nothing. Saw that. It was like every night it was like pitch black. There was a hunting trail behind. There is a hunting trail behind the house, like behind the fences. Behind the fence is a hunting trail. right? And it was pitch black, like halfway across the yard. It was like the yard is an acre, 1 acre. Okay, 1 acre, half acre, something like that. I don't know the difference. But it was a pretty big yard. It was bigger than, yeah, it's bigger than this yard. I'm not gonna show you how big this yard is, but it's a pretty large yard. And every night you would hear screaming. I couldn't tell if it was somebody, like a man screaming for help, or if it was like a dog barking, right? And I don't know what the fuck they be messing with. Excuse my language, but I don't know what they mess with spiritually. So, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, like dead ass, like not even a halfway across the yard, like a third of the yard was illuminated, right? And it was just pitch black, like you could barely see your hand, like it was like right here, like dead ass. Like there was no light out there, no lamps. Their porch light would be on sometimes, but the porch light would go only so far, right? Even after they built the deck and there was like a big ass light, you still couldn't see that much. So, and I was in the shed, which was outside, which was in that dark area. Okay, it was in that dark area. You know what I mean? So I turned the lights off, quiet, right, and it was dark, right? Especially like the pure silence. Pure silence is like deafening. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's like I can feel my ears cave in. When there's just nothing. There's no sound, right? So like, you hear the dog barking? So like, one night I was like, okay, I'm gonna kill my fear. So I was guided to, okay? So, and I had built it up over a few nights. It's like, okay, I'll do this. I was like shutting it off, but then I did it. Okay, so I turned off all the lights, including my TV. I put my phone face down, and I crossed my legs and I meditated, right? And during, when you have fears of something, right? When you have a fear, you will get an oh shit feeling while you are in that fear. Okay, I'm gonna look at the camera from now on. you get that oh shit feeling when you, while you're in that fear. Okay. So for me, it would always be like, oh, it felt like there was something in the dark, okay, that was gonna, I don't know, get me or something. Ever since I was little, right? I don't know where that fear developed from, but it did. I don't remember much of my childhood. Like I barely remember any of it. Anyways, so it's like I sat in it. I had these moments of like anxiety, but I meditated still, and I sat in the dark, the pitch black, for like 30 minutes to an hour. Okay, even like through like the oh shit feeling, like the, like I can't explain how it is. I think if you look through like a phobia simulator or something like that, then you'll know what I'm saying. But like, it felt like there was something that was like right there, that was out to get me, whatever, right? But there was nothing that was there that was out to get me, right? That's literally with everything. So the way you do it with like a thought is that, say you have like a crush on somebody, right? You purge that fear. It's a big ass bug hitting light. You purge that fear, right? So you sit in that thought, and then you kind of push through that thought, right? Like you get not comfortable with the thought, right? Like if it's like a thought of, see, and there's like different categories, okay? I'll split it into like two. There's a thought of like fear of something healthy, right? And there's a thought of a fear of something healthy and then losing it, right? And then there's a thought of a fear of something really, really fucking bad and it happening, right? You sit in and you purge both of those thoughts. So you don't get scared of those. You don't be scared of those thoughts. Now that's not to say to to let them dwell, okay? But it's like, know that, like, gain security within yourself, okay? There's a bunch of ants crawling on me. They always crawl on me for like no reason. Like I got something on me back. Nope. But it's like yeah, it's like sit in those thoughts. Just be like, okay, it's not gonna happen, but if it does happen, it's okay. I'll be okay. I won't die. Like, it'll be a lesson, right? Just learn how to turn those things into like positivity, or into a way that serves you, like not toxic. Yeah. I think somebody just yelled coming as scary. Probably because somebody was outside or something. But it's like, you know, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, let's say you're on, I'm a nah, I'm outside. I think somebody's dog is loose or something. But basically, right here, you know, I'll go inside. Why not? Basically, yeah, I put the light right here so you can see me while I'm in the dark outside. But oh my gosh. But basically, you like, I'm a romantic, okay? So everything I equate to, I talk about equates to love, and the such. And so basically, say you have a crush on somebody and you're an avoidant, okay? Or no, what type of lover am I? I don't even know. And you say you're like an avoidant, okay? You're scared of getting like burned again by someone. You're scared of that person, right? Like, you like the idea of that person, but you're scared that that idea is just an idea and that they will, I don't know, they'll like leave you at some point in the future or things like that, right? The reason why you feel that way is because of like past connections, right? Now, you have to kind of not understand, but you have to like, you don't have to do anything, okay? Now, this is just one way you can do it or whatever. All right, but it's like you look at your past connections and see how they were and what they did, right? But you see like the beauty in whatever happened in your past connections. Okay, that's the first step forward. Like you look at things that happened in the past. Say you messed up. Um, say they messed up, right? Be okay with what happened, right? Like forgiveness is the first step. Okay. Now forgiveness is not to excuse the actions of others or yourself, but is to like kind of smooth the over the sheets or something like that, right? It's like, you know, like when you're making a bed, it's like you straighten it out. That's what forgiveness is. You're allowing that thing to sit in your timeline and just be a thing of the past. Um, Now, of course, you also see lessons that came with that, right? Like, say they showed not necessarily signs, but it's like, say they were like a person, they were really like wishy-washy, okay, and they would like they would do things that they know would hurt you on purpose, okay. Now your step is to like respect yourself, all right, and not stick around someone who would hurt you on purpose. uh Now, of course, there's like nuance to that, but it's like more so hurt you on purpose, and then they wouldn't care that they hurt you on purpose, and this such, right? Or say you did that to somebody, and you're scared you might do that again to somebody. It's like you take the lesson of whatever happened, right? Like either the lesson of don't be around with somebody who does that, or the lesson of hey, maybe don't do that, and maybe be a little more empathetic to your next person, right? But either way, it requires forgiveness, all right? And the reason why I say to acknowledge the beauty in whatever connection you had is because no matter what, it is okay and cool, unless it's like weird, okay? Don't bring that weird shit in here, right? But it's like that okay, like that, it's like okay and cool, of like it's beautiful to feel love for someone. You know what I mean? So, no, in my opinion, no romantic connection is really a waste, unless you're like, I don't know, in a relationship in which why the fuck are you trying to get into another romantic relationship, connection while you're in a relationship already? But it's like everything is to be used as like a learning, a thing to learn, and maybe not something to reminisce, but something to be like okay with and understand. Like, yeah, that was a point in my life where I had to go through that to get to my next person. You know what I mean? And I learned my lessons, or I learned that I was okay, and that there was other people trying to project something onto me that I was not, and they wanted me to mold and change into something that they wanted me to be, which that's not me, right? And I want to be me, and me authentically. So I want to be with someone who's, also authentic and wants me to be me, wants me to be me authentically. And that's your lesson, to not settle for someone or something, some situation that's not what you wanted, not what you manifested, that was not aligned with you and your authenticity. Okay, because it's like, if people can, if people, like, what I'm trying to say, like, maybe you don't, I don't know, I'm not gonna give too many examples, all right, but that's one way to, like, oh, I'm afraid to open it back up to love, but it's always worth it to open it back into love, because it will bring you closer to your actual person. And the person after that, your last person that just burns you, like, you had like a not necessarily like a crash out, but like, that the person that made you I don't know, like you feel like you just, you know what I mean? Like me personally, my last connection, I felt like they were trying to project me to be that I was a certain way, that all men are a certain way, and it's that like I'm that kind of way because that's just how men are, and that's whatever. Even if I didn't know or whatever, but even though I knew myself, and they try to make me like say, oh yeah, you gotta change it to be this way, but it's like I'm not even that the way you're trying to say that I am, right? So it's like for me, that lesson in the last connection, the connection before that, I learned how I was and learned what I wanted from that connection. The connection after that, I learned that I'm actually okay and a good person, and I deserve the thing that I manifest, right? Like after the first time, I was afraid to manifest again, my person again, because I thought I manifested that person, which I did, but I didn't actually manifest the person that I wanted to manifest. I manifested somebody else. Okay, and such. I'm gonna grab this up quickly because it's 21 minutes. But yeah, you have to sit in that fear, that thought. You know, it's like you don't have to necessarily be somewhere or do something to or imagine something to accept that it's okay to not be afraid of it, right? It's more so like kind of just be like, okay, you know what, I'm safe. You know, your thoughts create your own reality. You know, if something does happen, I will do my best to whatever. But that's not even a thought to explore because your thoughts create your reality, right? But also, yeah, that's basically it. But me personally, went through each and everything that I was afraid of, and I was like, okay, you know what? I don't. It's not gonna happen, right? Like, I'm not gonna enter a connection and someone's gonna like leave me, you know? Because if someone does leave me, then they weren't meant to be there in the first place, right? That's the mentality that I developed. You know, like you cannot miss what is meant for you, as long as you are aligned. You know, and as long as you are you yourself authentically. You know, and people have like different journeys at different ages. You know, like I'm 22. My journey really started when I was like a year ago, like a year and some change ago. Like when I was like what 21, 22, 2020, 21. And even before then, I wasn't doing shadow work, but I was still like very spiritual, right? I was like really like developing my philosophy, but I wasn't like living in my, I was living in my like my, I think it's my will. I wasn't really living in my way of life, or my thought of life. But until like I started like a year ago, and then shit started falling away. But the reason why those things could fall away was because I was killing my fear of those things falling away. You know what I mean? Because whatever falls away, what is truly meant to be there and truly aligned will take its place. You know what I mean? So something that's like that's just 100% for you, and 10 times better for you and your authenticity, and that can actually like fit into your life without you having to like bend over backwards or do this, do that. You know, people who will be there for you just as equally as you wish would be there for them, right? Like a love that's actually someone that actually feels the same way about you and is just as loyal as you, and you're also your first choice, and things that blah blah blah, the third, right? That's that's how I got into that mentality. Also like meditation, like don't be afraid to like develop your own meditation method. I developed my own, right? Create your own method, whatever most comfortable. You don't have to sit up cross-legged, so no, you don't have to do that. Right? You can. I lay down on my side, I curl up into a ball, and I kind of like hold my belly, and like there's like a candle, like in like a snowstorm. You know what I mean? That's how I meditate, right? And you know, turn up all the sound, turn off like your fan, turn off, well, not necessarily your fan, but turn off your like your TV, you know, um, either put on like a some type of ambient noise that you like. For me personally, I like the I'm a nerd and I love Mirror's Edge, so I personally listen to like the PS4 Mirror's Edge theme, because I said this is a theme. Mirror's Edge Catalyst has a theme on PlayStation, and I like the song a lot. So that's what I do, and it makes me, it calms my brain. You know what I mean? Or just don't listen to anything at all, right? Whatever works best for you. You know, like there is no set way to do anything, right? Like despite what people say, because honestly, me personally, I pretty sure I have ADHD or ADD or whatever. Um, like you have to develop your own methods, and all the methods that you come across were developed by somebody at some point, whether it be a few years ago, yesterday, today, a few minutes ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, right? They were human, and you are also human. So you can make your own method of like meditation, channeling, whatever. Anyways, this video is 26 minutes. I'm done. Do this.